Okay, so we are now done with our first topic for the chapter 1. We were able to define what is criminology. We also include about the personalities that we have, those persons who developed and contributed in the study of criminology. Now, for the chapter 2, we will be talking about concepts and nature and together with the classification of crimes. So, ito yung mga komplikado minsan na definition or meron tayong mga terminologies na bihira lang natin siya mapapakinggan. But if you will interpret this one, parang parehas lang siya. Most of them are pare-parehas lang. Okay, so let's start. Okay, what is crime? Although nabanggit na natin ito before or nung last meeting natin. So let's define first what is crime. Crime is an act or omission in violation of a criminal law in its legal point. Okay, so technically, kung pag-uusapan natin about legality, it is something to do with an act. Okay, meron kang ginawa or meron kang hindi ginawa. So, kung titingnan natin yung perspective ng legality, you can be liable for a commission of a crime if you committed something or if you omitted that you are supposed to be committing or dapat bound ka, dapat ginawa mo pero hindi mo ginawa. Another definition is it is an antisocial act, an act that is injurious, okay, detrimental or harmful to the norms of society. They are the unacceptable acts in its social definition. So, ibig sabihin, you can be considered as a person who committed a crime if you committed something that is harmful or you're causing danger to another person. Next is, okay, another definition is psychologically, on the perspective of psychological, crime is an act which is considered undesirable due to behavior maladjustment of the offender, acts that are caused by maladaptive or abnormal behaviors. So there are instances, okay, psychologically speaking, there are people who are used to commit crimes because of problems in terms of behavior. So minsan may mga tao, diba, na magugulat ka na lang, okay naman siya manamit, maayos naman, okay, malinis naman siya, mukha naman siyang matino, pero bigla na lang siyang nananakit or bigla na lang siyang nagpo-cause ng injury sa ibang tao. So, there is something wrong with his behavior. Okay, another definition. Crime, ito yung pinaka-common na definition na madalas nating napapakinggan sa iba't ibang tao or on their personal perspective. So, this is the common definition of crime. Crime is also a generic name that refers to offense, felony, and delinquency or misdemeanor. So, ipag-isa-isahin natin, ano ba yung offense? Ano ba yung felony? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng delinquency or misdemeanor? So, ibig sabihin daw, on the general speaking, crime is a generic term. So, ito yung ito yung parlance na madalas na ginagamit. Okay, we're talking about offense. Offense meaning you are violating the content of the special laws. For example, a person was liable or he was sentenced for violating Republic Act 9165. Okay, so that is an example of an offense. Okay, yung batas. Okay, another one is felonies or felony. If a person committed a felony, he violated the content or the articles of the revised penal code. Ano example nun, ma'am? Okay, the content of the revised penal code includes crimes against person, crimes against property, crimes against chastity. We also have crimes against national security. Okay? So, if you have time, you can browse that in Google. Pwede ninyo i-check ano ba ibig sabihin ng revised penal code. Okay? Another one, crime can also be a form of delinquency. Okay? Pag sinabi natin delinquency, you violated or you did not follow what is the standard or the accepted norms. Okay? Kung ano yung mga dapat na ginagawa ng tao. For example, merong mga bata, diba, na natikitan or nag-violate ng curfew. Okay? So, ang curfew, usually, dati, intended lang siya sa mga minor. Pero ngayon, since we are in the pandemic, ang curfew is applicable sa minor, sa adult. Okay? So, those are example of delinquency. You should abide or you should follow what is the standard norms or the norms of the society. Another one is an equivalent term of delinquency. We have the misdemeanor. So, ito yung mga, kung sa madaling salita, this is what we call minor offenses. Okay, mga minor violations na ginagawa. So, that is also a form of a crime. Okay. So, ito naman yung hinimay-himay na definition ng offense. Now, sinabi natin before or yung previous meeting natin that our subject is a foundation. Okay? Pundasyon ito ng pag-aaral natin sa criminology. So, we will be tackling or we will be talking about different aspects in the field of criminology. So, now, we were talking about laws. Okay? So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng offense? So, himayin naman natin kanina. Offense is an infraction of the law punished by special laws. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng special law? A special law is a statute enacted by Congress, penal in character, which is not an amendment of the revised penal code, such as Republic Acts, presidential decrees, executive orders, memorandum circulars, ordinances, and rules and regulations. So, sa madaling salita, pag sinabi po natin, pag narinig niyo po yung salitang offense, ang tao ay nag-commit ng isang batas na kung saan ay ginawa ng mga mambabatas. Okay? So, it is a penal in form. Ibig sabihin, crafted siya sa revised penal code. Pero, there are certain amendments na nangyayari na hindi kasi ganun kalinaw yung nakalagay sa revised penal code. Okay? So, another form of that is bukod sa special laws or bukod doon sa tinatawag nating Republic Acts, we also have this presidential decrees. So, yung gambling, okay, that is also an example of offense, okay? EOs, memorandum circulars, etc. Another one, offenses are generally termed as crimes. Okay, we have this mala prohibita. Ano ibig sabihin ng mala prohibita? Those that are wrong merely because they are prohibited by statutes such as illegal possession of firearms. From the word prohibit, okay? From the word prohibit, ibig sabihin, bawal siya because there is a law stating or sinasabi ng batas na bawal yan. Okay? For example, ang pagputol ng puno ay hindi naman ipinagbabawal, diba? Kasi doon tayo nakakakuha ng mga, isa sa mga needs ng tao, or there are a lot of needs of the people or the community that nanggagaling sa puno. But because of the rampant or the abuse of the people na nagkakaroon ng illegal logging and everyone is affected of the problem or the effect ng sobra-sobrang pamumutol ng puno, people are suffering. So, this is now an example of mala prohibita. Nagiging bawal ang pagputol ng puno because there is a law stating that illegal logging is punishable by law. So, take note of the word prohibit. Okay? From the word mala prohibita. Another one, ano yung felony? Okay? Felony, ang content ng felony is we have this is an act or omission punishable by the revised penal code. Okay? We are done with the we are done with the offense. Okay? So, kung sa madaling salita, pag pinakinggan natin ano yung classification ng crime, we have offense, felony, and misdemeanor. Si offense, kanina, para lang malinaw, offense, ang content ng offense ay yung mga batas na sinabi na bawal. That is why we have mala prohibita. Prohibit, okay? Number 2, we have the felony, or ang equivalent naman niya is mala inse. Mala inse. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin ng felony? Felony is an act or omission punishable by the revised penal code of the Philippines. It is committed by means of deceit, okay, or dolo, or by means of fault or culpa. So in other words, RPC or the Revised Penal Code is committed by two aspects: the deceit or dolo, or fault or culpa in Latin, or in other terminology. Felonies are generally termed as crimes or that are under the category of what we call mala in se. Those that are wrongful from their nature, such as murder, theft, robbery, etc. Mala in se from the word sin. Okay? Mali, kasalanan. So, technically, kung pag-uusapan natin about the history, ang isa sa mga basis kasi natin was the Ten Commandments of the Lord. Diba? Na kung ano yung 10 utos ng Diyos, yun ay pag lumabag ka sa 10 utos na yun, ikaw ay tinatawag na makasalanan. So, in other words, kung pag-uusapan si history, ito mga nabanggit na to is sin, kasalanan. So, ibig sabihin, si mala prohibita is under siya ng offense, si mala inse naman is under ng felony. Okay? From the word sin, mala inse. Si mala prohibita naman is prohibited. Okay? Now, what is delinquency or misdemeanor? This is an act that are in violation of sample rules or simple rules and regulations, usually referring to acts committed by minor offenders. Okay, kaya meron tayong tinatawag na juvenile delinquent or juvenile delinquency. Mga batang lumabag sa mga simple or mga simpleng regulasyon na ibinibigay sa kanila. For example, yung mga nagka-cutting classes, diba? Yung mga lumiliban sa klase, that is an example of delinquency. Lalo na kung minor, it is addressed as juvenile delinquency. Pero kung adult na, syempre, tumatanda na, hindi naman na yan considered as juvenile. Okay, next. What are the important terms to consider? Ano yung mga isa sa mga importanteng terminology na kailangan nating matandaan at intindihin mabuti? Number 1, we have act. Ano ito sabihin ng act? Kanina pa natin pinag-uusapan. Act, meaning, ito ay bodily movement tending to produce some effect in the external world. Okay? Meron kang ginawa. External, ibig sabihin po, nakikita. Only external act is punished. Hence, a criminal thought or a mere intention, no matter how immoral or improper it may be, will never constitute a felony. Ito yung sinasabi natin ng previous meeting ka. There are no crimes that are committed without the actions. Kailangan meron kang ginawa. Okay? Or meron kang hindi ginawa. This is exhibited externally, nakikita. Yung pag-iisip pa lang or planning pa lang in committing crimes is not considered to be a crime. Okay? Number 2, omission. It is meant in action. Okay? In action, the failure to perform a task of duty, which is one is bound to do so. However, there must be a law requiring the doing or performance of an act. Okay? Simple explanation. Tayong mga tao, if there are people na nangangailangan ng tulong natin, lalo na kapag it's a matter of life and death, tapos wala kang ginawa, you can be liable for a crime. Kasi you must, or you should have done something, pero wala kang ginawa. Okay? So, you can also be liable, or you will face liability for that matter. Another one, dolo or deceit. Although nabanggit na natin to kanina, it is deceitful when there is deliberate intent, otherwise known as intentional felony, or the act or omission of the offender is malicious. The offender has the intention to cause an injury to another. Okay? Ibig sabihin, may pagtatraidor. Okay? Next, most of the felonies defined and penalized under the RPC are committed by means of dolo or with malice. So, kung titingnan daw natin, ang content ng RPC, kaya siya na-violate because the person who committed that kind of crime is committing with what we call deceit or malice. Okay, next, fault or culpa. Okay, huwag kayong mako-confuse na ibig sabihin ni fault and culpa or dolo or deceit. Okay, Kanina kasi sa dolo or deceit, ito yung pagtatraidor. Dito naman sa culpa or fault, from the word fault. It is culpable felony when the act or omission of the offender is not malicious, okay? Pag sinabi natin malicious, wala ka naman talagang intensyon. Okay? The injury caused in unintentional, simply the incident of another act performed without malice. The wrongful act results from. Kaya ka nakagawa ng crime because there are things to be considered. So, ano yung mga yon? Okay? Number one is deficiency of action, or in other words, yung tinatawag nating imprudence or negligence. Meron ka pa, bayaan. Best example for this one, the culpa or fault, are those persons who are violating a simple, or ito yung common term or law na nababiolate, yung reckless imprudence resulting to. Reckless, ibig sabihin kapabayaan mo, kaya ka merong nasagasaan. So, those are example of culpa or fault. Meron negligence, lack of foresight, hindi mo nakita, or meron tinatawag na lack of skill. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka naman talaga marunong mag-drive, pero dahil pinilit mo, okay. So, you are liable for committing a crime by means of culpa or fault. Pabaya ka kasi. Or dahil sa iyong kapabayaan. Okay. There are few felonies under the revised penal code that are committed by means of fault or culpa. This includes Article 217 punishes malversation through negligence, Act 224 punishes evasion through negligence, at Article 365. Okay, ito yung mga article na binabanggit ko. This is the component of the revised penal code. Okay, Article 1, Article 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So, don't be confused of what is, ano ibig sabihin ng word na laging narinig about article. Okay, so that is the component of the revised penal code. Okay, there are also crimes which cannot be committed through imprudence or negligence, such as murder, treason, robbery, and malicious mischief. Okay, meron din daw mga crime na nako-commit not by means of imprudence under the revised penal code. Again kanina yung pinag-uusapan natin about fault or culpa, etong mga articles na to, ito yung madalas na inclusion ng fault or culpa. Ibig sabihin, meron kang kapabayaan. Okay? You take note with the word negligence. Another one, sa second paragraph natin or sa second statement natin, there are also crimes under the revised penal code na hindi siya applicable doon sa salitang imprudence. Okay? Such as murder, treason, robbery, and malicious mischief. Kasi itong mga bagay na ito madalas ay pinagpaplanuhan. Meaning, talagang plano mo, intention mo, there is a desire. Murder kasi kaya nagiging murder because of the aggravating circumstances. Okay? Kunwari, kapag nasagasaan mo siya unintentionally, homicide yon. Pero kapag sinagasaan mo siya once, tapos nakita mo gumagalaw pa, binalikan mo ulit siya, that is intentional. So, magpo-fall na siya into murder. Another one, treason, robbery, and malicious mischief. Yan yung mga crimes na pinagpaplanuhan or pinag-iisipang mabuti. Malicious mischief, ito yung paninira ng gamit. For example, meron kayong kapitbahay, meron siyang bagong motor, nakaparada sa labas, tapos dahil naiingit ka sa kanya, naiinis ka sa kanya, ginawa mo yung motor niya, sinira mo yung gulong, sinira mo yung busina, so may mga ganun. So those are things that be considered na hindi siya magpa-fall under ng culpa. Okay. Criminological classification of crimes. Take note of the word criminological. Ibig sabihin, itong mga terms na to, madalas natin siyang narinig into generic parlance. Pero, sa pag-aaral natin sa criminology, we have this what we call terms that are exclusive for the criminology. Okay? Pero kung titingnan mo naman siya sa ibang aspeto, sa generic or sa common na ginagamit ng tao, ito yung mga madalas natin na encounter. Okay, crimes are classified in order to focus a better understanding on their existence. Okay? Kaya natin siya pinag-uusapan para alam natin, okay, iba pala talaga si boy, iba pala talaga si girl, iba si lesbian, iba si transgender, whatsoever. Pero kung titingnan mo siya sa common na pananaw, para sa naman tao yan. Okay? But, for the criminological perspective, it matters because of the gender. Okay? Number 2, criminologists consider various criminological classifications of crimes, which includes number 1, acquisitive crime. Ano yung acquisitive? Wala namang ganung offense. Wala naman ako naririnig na ganung klase ng kaso. But when we talk about acquisitive, this is a crime in which, when committed, the offender acquires something as consequence of his criminal act. Meron siyang nakuha in return from the word acquire. Okay, for example, si Juan, nagnakaw siya. That is an example of acquisitive crime. Pero ang kaso niya is robbery or theft. Pero kung titingnan mo sa criminological na perspective, okay, he violated a crime of theft or robbery. But, into criminological perspective, ang klase ng crime na kinumit niya is acquisitive crime. Kasi meron siyang nakuha or meron siyang na-acquire. Another one, the crime of what we call extinctive, when the result of criminal act is destruction. Ano ba yung example ng destruction na? Ma'am, pwede ba na si extinctive maging acquisitive? Yes! For example, yung mandurukot sinira yung gamit ng tao na nakasabay niya sa jeep bago niya nakuha yung wallet. That is destructive. Ginamit mo or nasira mo yung gamit ng tao. Another example, si Juan tsaka si Pedro magkaibigan. Dahil galit si Pedro kay Juan, ang ginawa niya, nagpanggap siya na hihiramin yung motor. Tapos binangga niya. Sinira niya yung motor ni Pedro. So, there is extinctive because there is a result of destruction. Okay? So, merong mga ganong klase ng crime. There is acquisitive or what we call acquire. Extinctive meaning merong destruction na nangyari. Okay? Another one. What is the difference between seasonal and situational crime? Seasonal, ibig sabihin naka-season. Diba? Parang weather natin, tag-ulan, tag-init. Okay? Season natin na pagdating ng Ber, okay, season na ng Kapaskuhan, and then after that, meron tayong tinatawag na summer, meron tayong rainy season. So these are seasonal crimes, are those that are committed only at a certain period of the year. So ano yung basic? Ano yung pinaka-common na crime na nangyayari? Kapag ako mapapansin ninyo, kapag ka magpapasko madalas, merong mga nakawan. Kasi, uso yung akit bahay. Kasi ang feeling nila or ang thinking ng mga tao dahil magpapasko maraming pera ang mga tao. Pangalawa, bakit pag summer madalas ang akit bahay? Kasi, ang mga tao daw ay madalas na nagbabakasyon. So, pag nagbabakasyon, wala na iyon sa mga bahay nila. Another one, kapag season or kapag panahon ng undas, diba? Bakit ba madalas din natin narinig sa mga kaklase ninyo yung salitang yung mga tinatawag nating, for example, ma'am, absent ako kasi hindi po ako makaalis ng bahay kasi po meron po wala pong maiwan sa amin. Diba? Wala pong maiwan sa bahay namin. So, those are examples of seasonal crimes. Okay? Na may mga nangyayari or may mga crimes na nag-i-exist depende sa season. Okay? For example, itong season na to, mataas yung crime ng murder. Ito namang after a month, mataas naman yung statistics ng crime of theft or yung mga akit bahay. So, it depends on a season. Next is situational crimes. Ano ibig sabihin ng situational crimes? Situational crimes are those that are committed only when given a situation conducive to its commission. So, nasa sitwasyon ka. Okay? Kaya ka nagiging victim of crime because of the situation. For example, pumunta ka sa mga public places. Tapos, nung pagpunta mo doon sa pampublikong lugar na yon, alam mo na maraming tao, maraming siksikan, maraming maraming tao na makakasalubong, but what you did is you wear or ang sinuot mong jewelry is talaga namang stunning. Okay? So you are victim or pwede kang maging victim of crime because of the situation. Next, episodic crimes or serial crimes. They are committed by series of acts within a lengthy space of time. Ano po ibig sabihin nun? Episodic, ibig sabihin, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Okay? Mahaba yung period. Okay? Mahaba yung period ng pangyayari ng crime. Another one is the instant. Instant crimes are those that are committed in the shortest possible time. Okay, episodic kadalasan or madalas pwede natin ma-best example dito is yung mga serial killers, serial rapists, okay? Nag-commit siya ng crime sa Caloocan, napunta siya ng Mindanao, nabalik siyang Laguna, punta siyang Zamboanga. So, yun yung mga, yung haba, okay? In return, or on its counterpart, we have this instant, mabilisan, okay? Crimes that are committed in an instant manner or in shortest way. Another one, static crimes or crimes that are committed only in one place. Okay? Isang lugar lang. Hindi na siya naulit sa ibang lugar. Okay? For example, yung mga static, yung mga ambush or di kaya yung mga massacre. Okay? Nasa isang lugar lang. But when we talk about continuing crime, nangyari siya dito sa Caloocan, nagtuloy-tuloy siya hanggang sa ibang, lalo na yung mga example niyan is yung mga scams. Okay? Nagsimula siya sa Bulacan. After a month, pumutok naman siya sa Caloocan. After a month, pumutok naman siya sa QC. So, yun yung nagpapatuloy yung crime hanggat hindi nahuhuli yung criminal. Next one is the rational and irrational. Okay, just to simplify things, rational, ibig sabihin ito yung mga crime na nangyayari using or a person is in full possession of his mental faculties. Ibig sabihin nasa matinong pag-iisip. Okay? Nasa matinong siyang kaisipan. Another one, the irrational, ito naman yung opposite niya. People committing crimes not in their perfect mind setting. Okay? Sila yung may mga depekto or merong mga diferensya sa pag-iisip. Okay? So, rational, ito yung best example for this one is yung mga nambubudol. Okay? They are using their perfect possession ng kanilang pag-iisip just to victimize other people. Sa irrational naman, ito naman yung mga tao na hindi na pinag-iisipan or hindi na gumagana yung kanilang tamang pag-iisip. That is why they are committing crimes without their yung full na kaisipan. Okay? So, best example for this one is yung mga taong bigla na lang nananakit. Okay? Or di kaya yung mga taong merong diferensya sa pag-iisip. Next one, white collar and blue collar crimes. Anong pinagkaiba? So, white collar, sila yung mga tao na belonging in the upper socioeconomic class. Ibig sabihin, mayayaman. They are a group of people na mayaman because they are engaged in illegal activities. Na yumaman na lang sila because of their perfect criminal or illegal activity. Or sila yung mga, best example for this one is yung mga organized or syndicated crime groups. Okay? Now, for the blue-collar crimes naman are those committed by ordinary professionals to maintain their livelihood. Best example for this one is yung mga snatchers or yung mga mandurukot, okay? Na nagko-commit ng crime for purposes of survival. Okay? Na para sila ay mabuhay. Okay. Next one is the upper world and the underworld. So, most likely, magkaparehas lang siya ng white collar tsaka ng blue collar. So, white collar kasi mayaman, si blue collar naman is yung mga nasa mababang klase ng pamumuhay. Okay, so almost the same with the upper world and the underworld crimes. Okay. Next is, ano yung pinagkaiba ni imitation sa ni passion? Imitation, from the word imitation, imitate, nagduduplicate. Okay? Best example for this one are those people who are imitating or the original or the authentic products. Okay? Kung matatandaan ninyo, nag-viral nung mga nakaraang araw na merong mga persons or group of people who are imitating local or even foreign products. Okay? So again, huwag nating tangkilikin yung mga japeg. Okay? Next one is crimes by passion are crimes committed because of the fit of great emotions. So sa crime of passion, this includes emotions. Okay? Sobrang galit mo, sa sobrang inis mo, sa sobrang inggit mo, you can be a or you can be on the way of committing crime because of passion. Okay? So, sobrang inggit. So, it's a matter of emotional problem. Okay. Service crimes. Ano ibig sabihin ng service crimes? It refers to the crimes committed through rendition of a service to satisfy desire of another. Okay, service. Ano ba best example nun? Yung mga sa spa, yung mga illegal activities inside the spa. So, may mga ganong nangyayari na nagiging victim ka or you are committing crime for purposes of rendering your service. Best example also for this one is yung mga acquaintance. Yung mga kakuntsaba. Okay? Next slide, legal classification of crimes. Legal. Okay? Under the revised penal code of the Philippines, a source of Philippine criminal law, crimes are classified as, okay, this is under po ng revised penal code ha. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung content ng RPC kung babasahin niyo po yung revised penal code. So, ano yung makikita natin sa loob ng librong yon? Crimes against national security of the law of nation. So, ito yung mga offense na nagawa na or narinig na natin way back kung babalikan niyo yung history. Treason, espionage, and piracy. Number 2, crimes against the fundamental law of the state. Example are arbitrary detention or violation of domicile. Okay, the violation of domicile, ito yung bahay tahanan ha, bahay po, bahay tirahan. Okay, so bahay. Arbitrary detention is detaining a person. Ang kadalasan or ang kinakasuhan po ng arbitrary detention is yung law enforcers or kadalasan pulis. Mga pulis na nagde-detain or nagkukulong ng mga tao na walang sapat na dokumento. Okay? Number 3, crimes against public order, rebellion, sedition, and coup d'etat. So, madalas itong naririnig before kung aware kayo or kung madalas kayong nakikinig or nanonood ng balita. Number 4, crimes against public interest, forgery, falsification, or fraud. Forgery, ibig sabihin po, pamimiki. Okay? Pamimiki ng pera, pamimiki ng dokumento, as long as may value. Okay? Falsification, pamimiki din po yan. Okay? Falsifying public documents, fraud, pangluloko. Number 5, crimes against public morals. Okay? Ano yung mga example nun? Gambling, betting, offenses against decency and good customs like scandals, obscenity, pregnancy, and prostitution. So, again, the prostitution, pagbibenta ng aliw is a violation under the revised penal code. So, yung mga viral na mga nagsasex sa sasakyan, that is also a violation under the revised penal code. Crimes committed by public officers. So, sino yung mga public officers? Siyempre, the local or the government employees. So, they're also liable for the offense of malfeasance and misfeasance. Okay? But as we go along, we will discuss this one. Hihimayin natin ano ibig sabihin ng malfeasance, misfeasance, and non-feasance. Number 7, we have the crimes against person. Example, murder and physical injuries. Meron pa yung homicide, infanticide, parricide. Number 8, crimes against properties. Okay, very common, the robbery and theft. Number 9, crimes against personal liberty and security. So, ano yung mga common or under ng offense na yan? Or under ng article na yan? We have the illegal detention. Ang illegal detention is applicable sa mga ordinary tao or ordinary people na nagde-detain ng mga tao without legal grounds. Kidnapping, trespass to dwelling, threat, and coercion. Number 10, crimes against chastity. Okay, concubinage, adultery, seduction, abduction, acts of lasciviousness, and rape. 11, crimes against civil status of person. Example, bigamy and other illegal marriages. Yung pag-aasawa na higit sa isa. 11, crimes against honor. Example, libel, oral defamation. So, alam niyo naman to, paninirang puri, di ba? Number 12, quasi-offenses or criminal negligence. Again po, imprudence and negligence, this is under the culpa or fault. Okay? So, this is the end of the second meeting natin. So, we were able to discuss about legal classification or criminological classification of crimes. Now, you have to study this one because itong portion na to, dito tayo madalas or maraming mga pwedeng i-enumerate. At the same time, there are a lot of definition of terms. Okay, you have to identify or you have to be familiar with those what we call keywords. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin ng legal? Ano ibig sabihin ng technical? Okay? What is the difference between culpa and dolo? Ano ibig sabihin ng or ano yung mga examples ng criminological classification of crimes? What are the contents of the revised penal code? Ano ibig sabihin ng offense? Ano ibig sabihin ng felony? Ano ibig sabihin ng delinquency or misdemeanor? So these are 26 slides that you have to be familiar. Kasi by next meeting, okay, let's see. Baka magkaroon tayo ng surprise quiz or surprise long quiz. Okay? So expect the unexpected. Okay? Everyone, thank you for listening to this short clip. If you have queries or questions, you can PM me. You can comment also to this recording if you want. Pero siguro I prefer for you everyone to please PM me or you can post your comment or queries in our group chats. So once again, thank you.